Deputies Maureen O'Sullivan and Thomas Pringle. Deputy Sullivan first.
Thank you very much. I think it's somewhat of a paradox that we're talking about sunbeds and this need to have a suntan, and we look at the weather that we're having outside, but maybe in another way that explains this kind of need that people have, that they do have this all year round tanned complexion, or the tan for special occasions. And the whole tanning business is a business, and it is a very lucrative one, whether it's the sunbeds that we're discussing or the various lotions that have come on the market, or the need to go off to holidays in sunny climates for that special occasion. And it's interesting because at different stages in our history we wouldn't be having this debate, because there were times when having that really chalky white complexion was the look to have, and anybody with a sort of a ruddy or a tanned complexion, that was just considered for the labouring classes only. So I mean, times have changed. The public health, the sunbed bill, it's been going on for quite some time now, and I think it's a good preventative measure when it comes to cancer. So bhfuil am fáilte a chur rivan villa seo, agus is mian am a hacaíocht the hurt than villa. I do support what's in the bill, but I also want to acknowledge what the Irish Cancer Society have been saying, and particularly their concerns that it doesn't go far enough. I mean, at the moment we know that there's no regulation for sunbeds in Ireland, so the bill is certainly progress on that part. So to acknowledge what it's doing, anyone under 18 cannot use a sunbed on those official premises, and it prohibits the use of sunbeds on unsupervised premises, and the sunbed operators have to make the users fully aware of the risks and for warning signs to be in place in all the sunbed operation establishments. Now, no sunbeds in unsupervised premises. I mean, I think that's going to be highly problematic as to how that's going to be enforced, and how that can be monitored. And then we come to the issue of the warnings of the risks for those over 18 years. Now, one of the points made by the Irish Cancer Society is that the bill doesn't prohibit people with the type 1 and type 2 skin types, which are the fairer skin types, and they are the people who cannot use sunbeds in Australia. And in Australia, as pointed out by the Cancer Society, every client has to have a skin type assessment before using the solarium. And they outlined this Fitzpatrick scale, which categorises the various skin types. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, skin type assessment, and I don't know where there could be a problem in applying that here. Now, regarding the warnings, as has been pointed out, we know that warning people of the risks associated with smoking is not having a major impact. And likewise, warning people of the risks associated with misuse and abuse of alcohol is also not having a major impact. And sometimes you have to wonder, is it making any impact when we see the extent of money that goes on the issues relating to misuse of alcohol, whether it has to do with health or has to do with crime. And we warn people about the dangers of getting involved with heroin or cocaine or snowblow or benzos, but they're still using them. The sugar content in fizzy drinks, we warn people about that, but what we see are increasingly high levels of obesity. So putting warning on a sunbed, I just hope it doesn't have a similar effect, because it is really very problematic. We want it to have an effect, but I'm just not sure, because we have so many examples of where warnings are not working. We know that skin cancer is the most common cancer in Ireland, and we have the deaths from skin cancer, and we're also told about the incidence of melanoma increasing. And another fact, 9 out of 10 cases of skin cancer are caused by UV rays from the sun or from sunbeds. So reduce the exposure to UV rays equals reducing the risk of developing skin cancer. The other fact that I've alluded to is that people with fair skin, or the skin that burns easily, type 1 or type 2, they have an increased risk of developing cancer. So therefore, eliminating those people from being able to use these sunbeds would also be an improvement. It doesn't mean we're living in a nanny state, but I think it does mean that we're living in a caring state. Banning under 18s is also progress, again the facts, because those who start before the age of 30 have a 75% increased risk of malignant melanoma. It's also alarming, another statistic from the Irish Cancer Society, of the numbers of people under 25 who use sunbeds. And really disturbing for me is the number of children, and it's not just in Dublin but other places, whose parents seem to think that using a sunbed before the Holy Communion or the confirmation is the way to go. And I don't know what can be done to get that message home to parents who allow this, and of the dangers of it. Today we have all sorts of tanning lotions, false tans and false sprays, and great improvements have been made on those from the days of the Oompa Loompa look and the orange look. So I can't understand why there isn't more of an emphasis on increasing the use of those lotions and sprays instead of a sunbeds. I would really like to see sunbeds eliminated altogether in the same way with smoking, but like with smoking, we just have to keep going. Thank you, Minister.